Hi, I'm Dave Shipper, and today I have Sherry and Mario from Songa. Is that how you pronounce
Songa.
it? Songa.
Yeah.
Songa. And you guys have submitted multiple submissions over our 10-week journey, and we went back to I think week 2 to pick "Love Heeds the Call." Oh, it's such a good song.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
It's
what?
been a great process.
Yeah, it's been fun, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The so how you been doing on during the pandemic? What have you guys been up to?
Well, I'm a teacher, so
Oh,
I had to learn how to teach music from home. I teach K-5 elementary music. So, but we were, fortunate to be quarantined together, so we were able to continue to practice. We had a lot of music coming in our house.
well, that's cool. Yeah, I've known some music teachers. It's interesting to do that through the internet, isn't it?
Well, yeah, once, we figured out how to do what we do and get it out in a format that kids could see it and all of that. Yeah, it was stressful in the beginning, but kind of I learned a lot of new tools for this old dog. So that was kind of good.
Well, speaking of an old dog, I'm on Zoom, aren't I?
Right, there you go.
And we're doing all right, yeah. So where are you? Where are you guys now? Are you in Chippewa Falls? I'm trying to figure out. I thought that's where you are.
That's where we are now, yes.
Yep. But you were from Nashville, or you spent time in Nashville?
Mhm.
How many years?
We were there for about 5 years the last time. I was down there twice. When I was younger, that's where I had my start in music down in Nashville as a writer. And then years later, we moved back there.
Oh, cool. Love the place. Kind of like
Loved it.
loved it.
Very inspirational. A lot of the songs that we are doing now in the group had their origins. It just was songwriting everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone we came into contact with was a songwriter on the side.
Cool.
Your hairdresser and your plumber, and everyone has a side hustle, but they're really a songwriter at heart. So
I suppose it's like Los Angeles. You go see there, and they're all actors and actresses.
Yeah.
very much.
Well, you've definitely have given us so many submissions. We picked "Love Heeds the Call," and maybe it might have been my kind of influence on it, but you submitted fairly early, and so you must have found us right away. And give me a little insight to "Love Heeds the Call."
Well, Love Heeds the Call is a song that was written quite a few years ago, and over the years, we've played the Love Heeds the Call in a number of different venues. It's a great wedding song. We've been, invited to play that song for ceremonies and weddings, and it is also on 2 of our other albums, different little versions of them. So when we knew that we had a good song there, and so we kind of rearranged it and rewrote it in our Songa style to include it in our program.
Oh, cool. And the fiddle player just adds so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
she does.
and we were quarantined with Anne as well, because my son, and that's his girlfriend, they were together on spring break. They're both music majors. And
Oh,
so
that's
they,
perfect.
right on spring break, she was from Arizona, but she was in Memphis with him, and they drove up. And so we had, like, in addition to my recorder and ukulele and singing, teaching lessons, we had Mario's banjo, which is a fairly new instrument for him.
Oh.
Vince played the saxophone and flute, and Anne was playing Suzuki violin, giving lessons, and she's in her master's program for violin. So music everywhere.
It was all occurring at different times, not the same song, obviously. And so our daughter kind of drove her up the wall because all this music was.
Well, families are important. You know, and it sounds like it's a wonderful, wonderful addition to your family. You know, I'll have to tell my son about that. Of course,
Yeah.
my, s-
Yeah.
my son's an architect, and he's marrying an architect. So
Cool.
they're pretty good. They're pretty good kids too. So you have a library of music. What's your favorite song and why?
I
You've
don't know
been
if we
doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I've been, I started in the way back days. I was in the first choral reefer band with Jimmy Buffett, and I was in a band,
Really?
yeah, and I was in a band with John Hyatt. We played, recorded an album with John, and so that was one of the reasons why we went back to Nashville so we could get reacquainted with some of my connections that I had years back and stuff. And so that was kind of my roots, and so a lot of the John Hyatt type stuff was also my style as well.
Mm.
And then of course he went on to be a musician. He was a great musician, and I was my teacher and went into the field of education, and so. But I still have my roots and my love back in the John Hyatt, Buffett type era.
Well, I'm planning to have a boat drink tomorrow at 5 o'clock. You want to join me, Mario?
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, well, 5 o'clock somewhere. 'Cause I'm a Buffett head too, you know. So
Are you?
yeah, even and I go back. You know, Jimmy Buffett had the best folk musician ever play with him, Steve Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes,
know,
true.
yeah, and all the attention to John Prine, and I love John Prine, and huge follower, but the biggest loss was Steve Goodman was taken
Yes,
so early in his prime.
it's true.
Um, so you still didn't tell me what favorite song it is.
I know, because that's pretty difficult for me. As you know, life evolves, and we've done so many different things over the years. We wrote children's music for the state of Wisconsin for kids and stuff, and so I love a lot of those things. I would say, if you want to answer, I would say probably the Cabin song.
Really?
uh, is something that just kind of hits the nail on the head for us in this day and age with what's going on. A call back to nature and the beauty of nature, and so often many of us have gone back to that here in this tumultuous time.
You know, you've submitted both songs with Mario's name on the writer and Sherry's name. Who does the writing in this little group? And how do you share that responsibility?
It's just such a process. I think every song is different. Many of these songs, were maybe rewrites or just rearrangements of songs that Mario had done, previously, or we did a lot of writing in the 90s when we lived there. And then we kind of dusted those songs off when we decided to just work together as a duo, because we've always been in, bands before, or, different kind of combinations. So yeah, I think the Cabin song for me also, just because when we play it, it's so relatable to at least where we come from. It's about where we're from. And our co-writer, Keith Duke, is from Nashville, and he comes up to visit us. Of course, he loves to come in the winter, which is kind of nuts for us. We want to go south.
Yeah.
He wants to come north and snowmobile. And
Why not?
but we kind of saw the cabin, our little spot in nature, which so many people in northern Wisconsin, they have a little fishing hole, or they have, a trailer on some land, or, a lake lot or something. So we saw it from his eyes, and how unique that is. Not everybody has that. And so that's just kind of northern Wisconsin life.
And
You
nature.
know, my hometown is Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and I'm so enthralled with Charlie Behrens now has come through with the Manitowoc Minute, so it's
Love
that was
him.
really good.
yeah,
He's so funny.
he is he brings me back home every time he starts talking. So
So as far as our process, though, I don't know that any of our songs it seems like, are they ever done? Because
Sometimes we
we're
have
always tweaking.
sometimes we have 5 going at once. Or we work on a verse on this one, and then we do a little bit on this one, back and forth.
And a music teacher is never a perfectionist, right?
No, never.
Yeah, right.
Well, this
Never.
guy's retired now, so like he gets to do music all day.
Oh, and,
So
In
and yeah,
addition to doing the dishes and cleaning the house.
I've got 3 more years to wait on that. So,
Oh, okay.
well, I think you probably answered my next question. Your influences. You play with some masters, Mario. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Pretty successful folks over the years. And I think if you going back to our name, like Songa, so many people wonder where did that name come from? Actually, one of my hobbies is studying world religions. And in one of my Buddhist research projects, I noticed that there was a community of folks that got together to bring about awareness and change and understanding and acceptance and harmony and love. And that was a group of people, and they were called Songa, Sangha, Songa. And I thought, boy, would that ever be a great name for a band, Songa. Put everything all together and you bring love and compassion and harmony to the world and stuff. And so I put that in my back pocket. And so now that after quite a few years later, we pulled that out and thought, you know what? We have compassion, we have love, and we have a lot of harmony. And so maybe Songa would be a good, of course, we change it from Sangha to Songa. But anyway,
Well,
I never
you're still
yeah.
not easy to find on Google or anything.
No.
It's like a duo. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the world of trying to find people. But I've found it now. So.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
think
have
for
you-
me, Emmylou
go ahead.
Harris. I grew up on Emmylou Harris, so Alison Krauss. Those are that's my home music.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's in my library too. So have you played down in La Crosse? If you're up in Chippewa Falls, have you been to our festival before? I'm just curious.
How did this duo?
No, that was really one of the real big draws to entering this contest and stuff, so that maybe we could get some exposure and some airplay, because we really would like to come down there and play some.
Oh, sure.
But we just don't, we've never been in that area of the
Oh.
state.
Well, you're not too far from us, about 90 minutes or,
Right.
over that. And we're trying to keep in touch with a lot of Eau Claire people. I think Greg Gilbertson was one of
Oh,
our
yeah.
songwriter winners. So, and I think Blaine Howard, do you know Blaine?
No, Greg.
That name.
Okay, but Blaine was a songwriter winner as well in the last 5 years. So,
Cool.
well, we would love to have you, even if you don't win. That's the thing. We're going to have
Yeah.
12 strong candidates, and if you're in the area, what we typically do with our festival is we have main stages and we have workshops during the day, and the workshops during the day are all song swaps, and they're the most coolest thing. You get 3 different artists doing a round robin. You never know what one artist will play off the other artist, what one artist will back up the other artist. It's just, and typically all these workshops have been, after you're done, everybody comes up and talks to you, hugs you. Social distance has to come back into play, right? By next year we can hug each other again. Let's hope.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Well, that's a list of my questions. Do you, Sherry or Mario, have any other questions for me?
No, we just really appreciated this whole process, and we actually had a song that we were going to send this week that Sherry, in her skill set that she's learned here through teaching, she made a little video of our family and sent it. And so,
Well, we just put it.
You put it on hold, right? Because we don't need any more to review.
No, but it's on our.
It's just on YouTube.
Yeah.
We do appreciate it. You did have several wonderful songs, and we've and I thank you for all the MP3s that I've shared on the Great River Folk Fest or the Dave's Basement track. So,
well, thank you for coordinating all of that.
that
I
was
mean,
awesome.
you've just been, shining music out there at a time when people really need it.
Well, that's the way I like to listen to music, and I like to buy it myself. And I don't remember if you have a Bandcamp site or not.
No.
See, one of the things that came up during the pandemic, which I've been very proactive with, kind of selling Bandcamp, even though I was an iTunes guy all my life, or since they came out with a 99-cent song. But Bandcamp actually takes off their charges the first Friday of every month. So basically you get 100% of the cut, which
Nice.
that's pretty nice. Apple doesn't do that. It's
No.
Spotify doesn't pay you garbage.
No, I
You know,
know.
Right.
so it's a nice thing, and it's a way to network. One of the interesting things in Bandcamp is your fans see it. You see who are other fans of that music, and you kind of link back and forth that way too. So
Cool.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
yeah, I'm old school. I used to buy my music on vinyl. Then I moved to the CD, and now I've got plenty of archives in digital format. So, but I don't do Spotify. So we're the last weekend of August. But for you guys, you're going to be part of the finals program, and we'll get you a second video where it's kind of being developed on the fly, but all the judges are starting to come in now for our finals. We're looking forward to it. This
Great.
video here will be coming out in order. So if you're number 10, you can kind of watch where we're at. I think we're at 6 or 7 right now released. So we'll release those at least once a week until we might do twice a week as it gets closer, just kind of build it. And we're going to have the finals named on our weekend that we normally would have the festival, 28th.
Oh,
That's our target. We actually have a couple little live things thought about in the area that might be social distanced. Who knows? If you guys are in that mix around there, we'll talk to you.
Cool.
that sounds great.
Yeah. So we'll keep in touch. So it's been a lot of fun to talk to you, Sherry and Mario.
Thank you, Dave.
I
Thank
hope
you
we
so
see
much.
each other face to face.
That would be
There you
great.
go. That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop recording now.